Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Ali. Nice to meet you all. I think all the introductions were made by Miss Aidana, so I don't need to really get into it. I just see um, it just keeps telling me people are asking for admission. Okay, so I'm gonna let Miss Aidana deal with that part. Thank you. All right. Um, How's everyone doing? Everyone okay? We're gonna be a little bit active in the chat, and sometimes I'm gonna ask you to unmute and give me an answer. Please, please, please try your best to participate because this only works if you actually work with me on this, okay? And I promise you, you will get some benefit out of this. And by the end of this webinar, I'm gonna give you a couple of things that you can take with yourself to your classrooms. I think it will be useful for you as a tool, hopefully. Okay. What we're going to talk about today is how I create my speaking lessons or activities, how I try my best to come up with ideas. Because one of the biggest questions I always get is that how on earth do you come up with your ideas? Okay? Or why do they work? And I think while I was trying to do this webinar, I kind of had to dig into my own brain and try to find whatever it is that I'm doing that works. So I had to do a lot of conversations with AIs, with people, with my wife, trying to figure out what is it that I do that actually works. And yeah, so today we're going to talk about that. I think that's good enough. Should we start? Yeah. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to develop an effective speaking activity or just a fun lesson, technically. I think if the lessons are fun, just as they're going to do the job. All right. Let's play a game. Right at the beginning. Let's play a game. It's a very nice game. It's a simple game. We can play it online. It's called Spy versus Civilian. Okay? Spy versus Civilian. I'm going to explain the game to you. I want you to listen first. I have my dear boss, Miss Aidana. I asked her at the beginning of the meeting to send two words, two secret words to three random attendees in the webinar. That means three of you are going to suddenly receive a text from Miss Aidana with two words in them. Okay? And I want you to, when I ask, use those words in a sentence. I'm going to give you time. Don't worry. I want you to use those words in a sentence, but make it very natural. I'm going to ask you what this sentence should be about. Okay? The rest of you who do not receive a word, you're all civilian, which means you are just going to write a sentence as I tell you. Okay? Now, how this game is gonna go, we're gonna play it and we're gonna figure it out together. Are you guys ready? If you guys ready, either give me a thumbs up or maybe put something in the chat so that I can see I have your attention. Let's see.
We're
Hello.
ready. We're ready.
Ready? Okay, nice. Someone said we're ready. Okay, so good. All right. As long as I get few messages, that means I'm talking to a few people. That's good. All right. Um, let's start. This is how the game works. If you are a spy, if Miss Aidana has messaged you two words, you have a secret word. Check your private message. Okay? You have a secret word. Use it naturally in one sentence. I will tell you what this sentence should be about. Don't make it obvious and try to act like everybody else. If you are a civilian, right, read every sentence in the chat carefully, look for anything forced or unnatural, and type your suspect's name when I ask you. You have 30 seconds later to vote. Okay. So yeah, when I ask, type one sentence, one short sentence in a chat, and everybody tries to type at the same time. I will give you time to think. All right. Here's what I want to ask. Tell me one sentence about your classroom. Okay. I made an example. For example, a fun place with all my favorite people. Anything you like. There is no right or wrong here. You just tell me one sentence about your classroom. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's absolutely okay. Just tell me something about your classroom in one sentence. And don't send it yet. Okay, my kids are adorable. I like that. That's so nice. Okay. Um, don't send it yet. Yeah, don't send it yet. L- Okay, I like when my kids are engaged. I want you to wait for 30 seconds first. I'm gonna count and then send it together so that we have all of them at the same time. Okay? All right. So just to recap, just to make sure everyone understands, the idea is to tell me one sentence about your classroom. Okay. If you are a spy, you should use those two secret words, both of them, in your sentence. If you're a civilian, you write down a sentence and you try to read everyone else's and try to find the spies who somehow said the words that were not really in the right place. Try to find the spice. And I'm giving you 30 seconds to think. All right? So let's do that. Starting with now, 30 seconds. Ooh, nice. Okay. Is this about 30 seconds, I guess? Yeah. All right. So we have a good amount of sentence that we can go through. We don't need the whole a whole book for this, but yeah. Now, I want you all to take a look at the sentences that are in the chat. Okay? I want you all to look at what's in the chat. And I want you to go through them and try to figure out who is a spy. Two people are spies. They both use two same words in their sentence. They may say something different, but both of them use two similar words in the sentence. And I want to know if you can recognize it. Okay? And then you can tell me, you can write down in the chat, I think it's, and then you write down their name. That's it. Okay? I'm giving you 30 seconds to count that again. Start from top. I like when my kids are engaged. My classroom is a safe place for my students. My kids love playing games. My classroom is more than a learning space. Honestly speaking, all my students are brilliant. I love my exciting students. A place where I have fun with my students. My classroom is a place to learn something new. The place to have fun, funny lessons with the engaged children and teens. Academically ambitious, hungry kids. I really don't know what to do when they are silent. My wonderful, awesome workplace with adorable students in my classroom. One of the big problem is speaking. Oh, there are up to 20 students, which is quite challenging. My presentation at the district seminar last year went brilliant. And Okay, so now someone wrote place. Someone's already accusation already started. Nice. Let's see. Zavinos, Aigo, Zavira, Zavana. Oh wow, different people are pointing fingers at other people. Is that Nagu. Okay. So, do we have all the votes in? Okay. Let's see. I don't know who people are, so I'm trying to also check based on your. Okay. All right. Shall I reveal the answer? Yes.
Yeah.
One of them was, if I'm not mistaken, one of them was Zarina. Is that correct? Yeah, for those of you who pointed at Zarina, good job. Zarina, well done as well. It was really good. But for those of
Thank
you who
you.
figured out Zarina, good job. And who was the other one, Miss Aidana? Sorry, I can't read all the things at the same time.
The second spy is Agirim Dashanova.
Okay, is
And there was the third spy, but I'm not sure if she received my message. That was Жанна Серкаликаза, supposed to be.
okay, all right. So, very good. Thank you so much for participation. Thank you for taking this serious. I highly appreciate it. Okay. Um, Here's some question. Did you read every sentence? Yeah? Okay. You guys read every sentence. That's nice. Were you thinking about grammar? Were you thinking about English
Mm.
language structure and everything? No. The fact is that you were hunting. English was just the tool you had. We sometimes we get into this state, which we're going to talk about, is called flow in games, and it's a state where you don't really care about anything secondary or any idea. You just enjoy what you're doing. And this is why am a big fan of edutainment in general, where education and entertainment meet each other. The idea that you blur the line, you try to take away the middle line, and try to combine everything together. We're going to talk about this. Okay? Um, would you want your students to speak like you or better than you? Don't answer yet. I just want this to be there. But would you want your students to speak like you or better than you? That's a question I once asked myself, and I think it's a very good question to ask an English teacher because it's a bit weird at some point. Like, do I want that? Do I not want that? I don't know. I feel like I want them to speak better than me, but then that also feels a little bit, I don't know, you feel a bit insecure, but it's all right. I think it's a good question to think about. Um, all right, let's talk about the attitude first. Okay, then we're gonna talk about the formula. A lot of people ask me, "Oh, how do you do this or how do you do that? How can you make something out of something small? How can you make a game out of something boring?" Um, I think when I try to train other teachers, when I try to explain my ways to people, I realized a couple of things, and today I want to talk about them a little bit before we move on to the practical part. Okay. Um, First question, why do some students never speak, even after years of English? Can you tell me that? Tell me your reason. Don't worry about my reasons. You can, if you want, you can write it in the chat. If you want, you can write it in the chat. If not, you can unmute one by one and just give me two or three answers would do fine. Too shy. That's a good one. Too shy. Okay.
There's
If you
a
don't,
hand raised.
oh yeah, you can raise your hand and then you can just okay. Miss Saudat.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I think they shy because they are not aware of their level of speaking. Because there are students that are really sure that they are brilliant in writing, but there is like a barrier for them to overcome to start speaking. Maybe they are not sure of themselves, or they, I would say, because of their, again, as I mentioned, unawareness of their
Hmm.
skills.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Someone also wrote, Miss Gulnar also wrote, Gulnur, sorry, Gulnur wrote, they have a barrier. Miss E. Irina, maybe I don't know. My Russian is not good, so I'm reading that. She's not motivated enough, hesitant to speak, not enough confidence. Learning environment is not safe or supported, afraid to make errors, fear of being judged. Okay, so see, as teachers, we are all going through the same hell. Okay, which is, I mean, good. It means that we can help each other. Okay, um, yeah. So there's a wall. I mean, I call it a wall, not in the brain, but in their feeling. Okay? When students feel anxious, watched, or scared of being wrong, nothing comes out, no output comes out. Crash and call it the effective filter. I call it the wall. And the reason I call it the wall is because I'm very good at like breaking those barriers and bringing down walls. Okay. And I like it. I like to be that angry Hulk that just smashes walls and let everybody just like, enjoy their time. And this wall is a very big stopping force. Now, what raises the wall in your classroom? Okay. Fear of mistakes is something we talked about. Being corrected publicly. Okay. That's always something kids, I don't know why, but they don't like. Being put on the spot, comparing themselves to others, not having enough time to think. There are so many different factors here. I'm just naming a few just to make sure that we're on the same page. These are the reasons these walls are raised. Okay. But in reality, these are also the reasons that a lot of people give up on learning something, give up on learning a language. And as teachers, um, the better we are, the more of these walls we can put down and work with our students. Three things that I found out will bring the wall down. I never punish mistakes. None of my classes I punish mistakes. Attitude is different, but mistakes I never do. And I usually echo the correct version and keep moving. Okay. Um, I mean, it's called recasting. Everybody knows probably. But yeah, communication over accuracy. For me, it matters that they talk. It matters that the students is trying to speak. I would rather them making a few mistakes for now, but let them to just get the hang of talking. Then over time, when they want to use their language, when they hear me talking, when they hear the echo, a correct version, it would slowly fix things up. Okay? Someone said friendly atmosphere, so just start not paying attention to the mistakes. I say you're welcome to make mistakes. Yeah, right. That's it. And be their host, not just their teacher. This is something that a lot of pushbacks are going to be here. Most of you, actually, who have read like a couple of books, it says like having a teacher-student relation is important. To me, I don't want to be just their teacher. A host is a more fun person. If you guys ever go to a wedding in Kazakhstan, you know that there's a host. Yeah. Um, he makes the whole thing fun. I mean, we have all the elders coming on and talking, and everybody has to stand up and listen. And I had to go through this in my Kozozatu. So you have to listen to a lot of people talk, but at least the host plays games, dances, have fun, sings, enjoys. You enjoy the environment because of this host. So, um, in my mind, a teacher evaluates, but a host makes sure everybody have a good time. Okay? So I think to bring down those walls, we need to take some steps as well. They're not everything, but we're going to talk about them. What's the difference between a teacher and a host? We talked about it. A teacher evaluates, just is the expert, and a host is just make sure that everybody's having fun. Okay. This only works if you actually care. This is something that I know all teachers care, and I know all of you actually care immensely about your students. That's why you're here on a Sunday trying to listen to some guy you don't know talk about things. Um, But there's this big problem in teaching that is not it's not a rewarding job, to be honest, at some point. It's like being a parent, being a father or a mom. You do everything possible to help someone, and they don't sometimes appreciate it. And that's okay. All right. That's kind of understandable. Okay. To give light, one must first burn. I love this quote because it's by Rumi, by the way. It's a very beautiful sentence because it taught me that in order to shine, that burning, that painful burning is a part of this process. Okay? You will care more than they do, and that's not failure. That's just the job. It happens. You have to try the hard, like more for those students as much as you can, at least. Okay. Um, Here's the formula. Now, to understand this formula, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. First one is called the role. We will talk about the role, and then we're gonna figure out what mechanic is and how stakes are set. Once you have this formula, you can have a good gamified activity that will help you go through your lesson plannings and ideas. Yes, no pain, no gain. You should be a good host. That I like. All right. Um, Now, in gamification, the optimum state where you want to be in is called a flow state. I don't know if you've ever had a friend, a partner, or a child or someone play a game. Once they're in it, they can't understand what's happening around them. They're very much in that focused mode. That is called a flow state. In gamification, and in games idea, that is a state that the game is not too easy, so you don't get bored, and is not so difficult that you are entirely out of it. It is just the right amount of difficulty. And in education, in English, is I plus one. But in gamification, we call it flow state. And I'm going to talk about how can we get into that over the course of our talk. Okay. Role. What is a role? You get them out of being evaluated. Okay. Fictional or real, it doesn't matter. The idea is that a lot of students are afraid of being judged because of who they are, and they always think that they're being evaluated. The moment you figure out how to bring down that wall is the moment that you win them over. Okay? A role gives the students a different um, role and personality or a mask, you would say, that would help them become someone else. So even if they make a mistake, even if they lose, it's not them that lost, it's the mask that lost. All right. There could be contestants, there could be suspects of a crime, there could be experts on something really crazy, like how to make a peanut butter sandwich, right? There could be a judge, a spy, a talk show guest, there could be runners, there could be anything. Like you name it, there could be anyone that they want. It just matters that you create a role for them in the classroom, letting them be someone that they enjoy. Even sometimes a part of a team that they chose the name of, is actually really fun. Every time I ask my third graders or fourth graders to choose names for their teams, I hear these funny names. Some of them use game names, some of them use city names in Kazakhstan. I had three students that picked Kokshetau as their team's name because they all liked Kokshetau. And it was a very funny, interesting idea to me. So yeah, whatever they want, you give them a role. Okay? The moment they have the role, they'll stop worrying about English and they start playing. All right. Mechanic. What is a mechanic? Mechanic is basically how you run the game, how the game works. Now, a lot of people think that you need to create and come up with original mechanics. You don't need to, okay? You just need to find a game or a system you like and try to adapt it to what you do. I do that all the time. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, for God's sake, okay? If you like something, if it has energy, just take it from there. Let's say from game shows. I don't know if you watched Jeopardy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Deal or No Deal game shows. Would I Lie to You? 8 out of 10 Cats, QI. What else? There's so many good TV shows. There was not enough space for me to put all of them, but there's so many good TV shows that I borrow from. I get the idea. I go like, oh, I like this question. I'm gonna make it into a fun thing. Okay. Board games, Battleship, Clue, Taboo, Werewolf. So many board games are out there that you don't need to bring the entire board game to the class. You just need to take the mechanic of the board game and bring it to a lesson. Okay. Same goes for sports. I mean, we're in Kazakhstan. Tug of war is a sport that a lot of Kazakhs like, and it will be nice. And yeah, mechanics are something we borrow. By the way, I am aware that these theories might not make sense, but we're going to together uh, do something today during the webinar and learn how these actually work. Okay? So don't worry if you don't understand them right now. I'm just giving you a little bit of information. Try to catch as much as is possible. If you don't, it's okay. We're gonna revisit them again. And stakes, something has to matter. Okay? It doesn't matter what, but something must be there for them to care. For me, it's stickers, points, like being caught in a lie, all of these things. For different games, these are all ways you can make things matter. I create so many fake currencies in the class that sometimes I even like, lose the count of. It's very funny. Like I tell kids, all right, you have 5 points and this team has 6 points. And points doesn't mean anything. I'm just making up numbers because kids love getting those numbers higher in this thing. It's all about making a game and making it matter for them. If you can make them care, that's it. You got them already. Okay. Yeah. So stakes create something that matters. All of this together create the game that we're going to talk about. All three flow state. Okay. Um, Flow state is when, as I explained, challenge is just about the comfort. Students are fully present. English comes out not because you force it, but because the game requires it. A lot of time people think they have to think in like, they have to create something so they can speak. But when there's a flow state, students don't care whether the sentence is what it is. They just say it because they want the point. And when that happens, the subconscious work is magic and they produce really good results and sometimes even funny ideas. You have to really see some of my classes. I laugh in my classroom all the time because kids say all these amazing things or find this really creative ways to say a sentence because they don't know a vocabulary or a word and they find a way to go around it and explain it, which is amazing, to be honest. All right. Let's work together. Let's do this. I want you to get into my head and I want you to see how I think. Okay? Sometimes I have to tell you, sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I work so hard. Miss Aidana knows this actually. I work so hard for a game that I'm making, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the classroom. People don't understand it. Kids don't like it. It falls flat. And that's okay. I want to tell you before you do anything in this, like, from here on, it's okay if your game fails. You can change it. You can make it better. Maybe even that game is not really working. Maybe you should come back to it some other time and fix it. Okay? Don't overthink just one game. There are millions out there. You can use whatever you want. So I want you to be a bit active here. Sorry for talking too much. I want you to be active here. Let's work on this together and see what we have. The problem with the kids, for some children, is heartbreaking to lose a game when it's competitive. Yes. And I'll be honest with you. I have a very weird philosophy on this. I think it's good for kids to lose because losing prepares them for the real world. They're not always they're not going to always win. That's one thing. But it is how you deliver personally. It's how you deliver that loss that would soften the blow. I never let them go crazy in the way that, oh, I wanted to win that game, blah, 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 blah. No, I I still try to attitude wise, try to somehow soften the blow at it as it goes. There's a book called Teach Like a Champion. And one of the points that it actually talks about is how you deliver that loss or that mistake to your students. When students make mistakes or they lose, it's okay. It's a competition. And to me, I don't I don't let them go unhappy. Yeah, the winner usually gets the bigger prize, but the loser doesn't get, it's not like the loser doesn't get anything. The loser still gets something for the effort that they made. But if a student doesn't make any effort, doesn't join in, doesn't do anything, I don't reward that. I want you to understand that part as well, that we can't give trophies to everyone for no reason. There has to be an effort so that we can, we can work it out. We can push that student towards a better goal. Yeah, it's an experience. That's very true. I get it. Okay, let's see. What skill do you want to teach? Type in the chat a skill that you want to teach. Speaking, listening, grammar, whatever. Write down something that you feel like you want us to work on right now. I'm gonna do it kind of in a live kind of system. Grammar. Ooh, Irina, grammar. Speaking, listening. Ooh, okay. All right. Um, let's do this. I want you to pick your own activity or your own topic, right? Speaking with grammar. All right. I like how someone just combined everything. Speaking with grammar. All right. I want you to think of that activity. I have a video. I didn't include it here, but Miss Aidana has seen this video from my fifth grade. While I was trying to ask my fifth graders to do some grammar work, okay, they were working on the difference between um, the what do you call that? Talking about their hobbies and talking about like what's happening now. It was like present simple and continuous, but it was like a little bit of with different things, right? Um, I had this game that kind of like put together, and I want you to think of this skill, activity, topic, or whatever that you're thinking, and follow along with me mentally. If you have any question like how does it work, write it in the chat or raise your hand and I'm going to let you speak. Okay? You can tell me. Don't let me move forward if you haven't really understood it. All right. Now, let's build the game together. What gets students out of evaluation mode? Okay, we talked about this. You want to give them a role. Okay, so in this case, what I did was I was like, okay, so we have our topic. I have some questions ready. I had some, it could be anything, could be like option-based question, could be like the answer question. You can create your own way based on your classrooms. Okay, just think about your activity and create it based on that. So let's give them a role. What kind of a role would you think would be a good idea? In my head, one role that has really worked based on my experience is that when put in the team, students love being uh, the team player where wants to get the answers correctly. Okay. If you give those teams a name, it suddenly becomes more personal. And in case of my fifth graders, they asked me to separate them into two teams, boys and girls. And suddenly we have a war going on. It was very fierce, I'm telling you. These kids really wanted to show if the boys are better than girls, who's smarter and everything. So they put themselves in a group and they were really serious about it. Okay? Um, we're gonna talk about this thing. What's a game you personally enjoy from real life? For this one, I wanted to give you a couple of options, but I thought we don't have enough time, so I want to make sure that I finish it on time. I chose Tug of War because we're in Kazakhstan and it's a game that everybody plays, like traditionally is played in Kazakhstan. Tug of War. Do you guys know what Tug of War is? Just to make sure we're in the right track. Yeah. Okay, so we have one thumbs up. The rest of you, do you know what tug of war is? Yes, yes. Okay, for those who don't know, I'm going to explain. It's when we have a rope and two teams on each side try to pull the rope towards themselves, and it goes left or right. If I think if you know Kazakhs traditional nomads usually used to play this game where just trying to pull the other team towards your side with a rope. It's a like in a game of force and strength. Um, yeah, in Nowruz holiday we play this. Understood. Arkantartus. Is that the name? Am I reading this correctly? That's the question. So, Miss Igrim, Miss Ziboniso, and Miss Saudiat and Dinara, do you understand now what it is? Should I explain more or show a picture? It's regularly played in our school at PE. Yes. All right. All right. Everybody understood. I hope. Okay. Good. Okay. Very good. So tug of war. Now think about how on earth I'm going to use tug of war in an English game. So that's the thing. See, I just get the mechanic of it. I don't need the whole game. I just need the idea, the mechanic of the game and how it would work. So I'm going to be like, okay, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my topic, whatever it is. Okay. I'm going to have these questions on the board. Okay. And then I'm going to have a middle ground, like a table. Then I'm going to have two teams on either side of this table. The girls will be on this side, the boys will be on this side. And they face each other. And I'm going to create the fake idea of tug of war. I'm going to show you, actually, this is what I made recently, which I'm very happy about, but I'll show you how to do it in the chat on the whiteboard or anything as well. This is there's an AI like I found is called playable.ai. It helps students visualize like kind of these things. As you can see, I explained my idea to the AI, and AI created this for me. And all it needs is that every time a student on the left side says something correctly, I click on pull green, and this moves to the left. Every time students on the red does it, I did, and then it goes to the right. So the idea is very simple. It is tug of war in this case, okay? But the idea is very simple. If you want to do the same thing on a whiteboard, here's how it is. Let's say girls, and then one, two, three, four, and then you put, there we go, one, two, three, four, and then boys. Here, take a look at what I put in the chat. That is literally what you can do on the whiteboard. You do it through ChatGPT. No, it wasn't ChatGPT. It's again, the AI name is there. Um, if you go there, you would see that there are so many awesome games you can make for your classroom. And these are tools. As a teacher, you must understand how tools work. I'm not saying overdo them. Don't sacrifice the lesson for the tools. But try to keep yourself updated as well. I will send if I can send a link of this, I will send it to you. But if not, I wrote down how it looks like on a whiteboard. Literally, gay girls and then four dashes, a zero, four dashes, and then boys. Every time, uh, yeah, every time girls say something correctly, you just remove one dash, put the zero there, add one dash to the boys, and it looks like it's moving left or right. Okay? That's it. So, what I did to make sure everyone gets involved was that I decided to use tug of war as their point system. I said whoever wins gets the point, gets the sticker, whatever prize that I have. And here are your questions. Each time people will face each other. But what happens when we have those students that make mistakes? They don't want to make their team lose, right? That's usually something. I don't want to be the reason my team loses. So I created a different mechanism in that game. I said, you can get help if you need help while you're there. You can get help from the person behind you only. No one else in the class, only the person behind you can help you. And the person behind you can also get help from the person behind them. So I created this train idea where if, let's say, the last person in the line knows the answer, he must use, do you guys know the game, the telephone game, where someone says something and it just moves on along the line? I use that mechanism to let them share the answer with each other. In this way, if one person in the middle also doesn't know the answer, they can learn it as they pass the message along. So students face each other. I ask the question, students answer, and then it just moves forward. It's just a very simple thing, tug of war. I can tell you the amount of energy this game produced in my classroom. I could power up a house lights with it for a year. Students were competing as if their life was depending on it. It was so fun. We did it over two classes. They kept asking, can we please bring it back? Can we please play it? It was amazing. So, what you need to do is you need to look at simple things or interesting things and find out how can I make this into something for my students? And that's how it goes. See, um, if you look at the mechanisms, the role, the mechanics, the stakes, what I just explained, we just did everything. We gave everyone a role or a reason to care in terms of who they are, okay, so that they don't have to worry. We took two mechanics of two different games and use it in our advantage so that they can help each other also grow. And for stakes, it was, well, boys versus girls. What higher stakes than this in a fifth grade classroom can you have, right? Definitely, they want to show that they are better in their class, and these little competitions are fun ways you can actually help them do that. Um, sorry, I'm gonna try. Sorry, oops. I'm gonna try to see if I can show you my. Let's see. Do I have it? Hopefully. Oh God. There we go. Oh yeah. So I made this. There we go. Tap to start. I made this every time someone was telling, like saying the correct answer, pull green, pull, pull. Every time someone was saying the correct answer in red, pull, 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 go to this side. And here was the threshold. So like see right now they're five on five, but if they make four mistakes in a row, there we go. Red team wins. It's a very simple way to look at it. It doesn't really require much. And if you look at the website itself, make everything playable. All you need to do is pick one of these things, a quiz or whatever, or you make your own quiz, and yeah, it would just work out. I highly suggest that you really get in there and enjoy your time. Just play around and see what's fun. By the way, can you guys see this screen? Oh yes, okay, thank God. All right.
Yes, we
Back,
can.
yes, back to the presentation. Sorry. All right. So, um, you saw how. I just made something, right? You saw how it worked. And I'm definitely I'm confident that you have questions. I definitely will have time for you hold later on to ask these questions. But you don't need to reinvent the wheel, as I said. You need to find a game that already has energy and make English the only way to play it. All right? Uh, so you need to make sure that they understand the only tool they can use is English throughout this lesson. And that's a very good way. Some fun ideas to copy. I promised you a couple of activities or things you can use in your lessons. I'm going to show you some of the works that are a bit different in mechanism, but still work. The first one is a role-playing system. And I have this alien. This is called, his name is Neverhood. It's from a game I played in my childhood. It was a puzzle game, amazing game. And this creature wakes up as an adult, but he does not understand how anything works. So he has to learn everything as you go through these puzzles. So one day I decided that I'm going to use this alien as my character, and I'm going to give it a story, and I'm going to try to ask students question. So I say this student's name, this alien. He was just cruising around, and he landed on Earth, luckily in Kazakhstan. And he decided to pick a local name, and then I would name one of the students that, like, I know they will laugh if their name is like, given to an alien. And then I would say, okay, but now he has questions and he wants to ask questions. And then I would say, okay, what is this? And they say, oh, that's a camera. That's easy. I was like, camera? What is a camera? And they were like, oh, well, camera. And then they try to explain what a camera is. And the more they go, camera is something you take pictures with. Well, picture. What's a picture? And they go like, oh, picture. Now, how do we explain it? And it goes on. You ask them, oh, it's a memory. A memory? Why, you can't keep it in your head? No, because you want to see it. Why do you want to see it? Because you miss them. Why do you miss them? So you play this game of Alien where you question the most simplest thing. Oh, it's a chair. It's for sitting. Can you sit on the floor? Yeah, then why do you need a chair? No, it's more comfortable. Why does it matter if it's comfortable? Where do you get it? Oh, I bought it. What do you mean bought it? Like a shop. What's a shop? Oh, it's a place where people buy things. What is buying? Oh, it's where you give money to someone. What is money? Now you have to explain the entire concept of currency, money, and everything. So it doesn't matter where you start. The more questions you ask in this situation, the funnier it gets because it's just about experience, basically teaching them how this whole thing works. Oh yeah, it's a very interesting game. I might come back to it. I don't know what time is it. Oh God, we don't even have time for that. I wanted to come back and show you how I would play it because it's really good. But one thing I have to tell you about this is that you need to question the most basic things. What's electricity? Let them try to figure out how to explain electricity because they would know the gap in their vocabulary. They'd be like, oh, okay, I don't know how to say that word. Therefore, I need to find a way to say that word. Okay? Um, figure out like I just want to show you that I have bandwagon effect, hindsight bias, halo effect. I don't just ask about object, I asked about different biases or whatever that is like, it could be for concepts even, could be for anything. An alien would work. And you can give him a very fun name and you can play the character, truly play the character. A good teacher, again, a host. Be fun. Second one. Oh, second one is my famous Rubik's puzzles. When I came to Astana and started doing speaking clubs, I remember speaking clubs were, sorry to say, but quite boring. Uh, it's knowledge game where everyone is AI. Yeah, okay. Yeah. When I came to Astana, I realized that a lot of speaking clubs were really boring, to be honest. So I decided to do a couple of activities. One of the activities that really got my students going were these Ribos puzzles. Okay, if you look at them, they don't make sense. But the idea of these Ribos puzzles is that you can only solve them if you think and discuss it with your friends in English. If you do it in Kazakh or in Russian, you will not get there. And believe me, you will not get there. So you must do it in English in order to work. And it has helped me inspire my students to speak and think in English during the speaking clubs by a lot. If you take a look at, let's say, this one, what do you see? Can someone either answer or give
Middle-aged,
me, you can unmute if you
middle-aged,
say it again.
mid-aged,
Say it again.
middle-aged, something like
Middle age, right?
math.
Middle age, right? It's just age, it's in the middle, so you got a middle. What about the last one, this one? Oh, someone said beating around the bush. That is correct. Good job, Jana. What do you see? Tell me what do you see? Somebody unmute and tell me what they see.
Red, red,
Say it again.
red color, red.
Oh no, this one. This fourth one. One, two, three, number four.
Ah,
Um, mm, Teenager is an interesting answer. I like that, but I wouldn't say it's close to teenager. What do you see? Just tell me what you see. You can unmute and say the last one.
Is
Oh,
it
which
this 8? I
number?
see 10. Yeah.
So you see 10
Tennessee,
and then
Tennessee, Tennessee,
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Is that right?
Right.
Tennessee.
See, the only way for you to actually say it is by saying it out loud in English. If you would have said that 10 in Kazakh or in Russian and try to say this in English, it wouldn't make sense. But if you said it in English, it makes sense, right? So the idea is to find ways that will help them just think and speak in English. One thing I always talk about, um, lessons are important, but for me, it matters that the students have fun. Okay? Games and fun first, lesson second. I know my boss is here and she doesn't like hearing this, but what I'm gonna say is that I, as a teacher, can't teach everything to my students in the classroom. It's not possible. But what I can do is to create that passion, ignite that feeling that they want to play and enjoy and continue this even outside the classroom. One of my happiest day working in Harmony School was that when I came in the classroom and kids were playing the game I played with them previously in English together just for fun. This was one of the biggest things I've ever achieved, I think, as a teacher. And it really made me feel good. So I think success would come when you manage to make things so fun that they just do it. They would learn a lot of things by themselves, so you don't have to overdo everything for them. So yeah, make sure things are fun in the class. And this one, this is cryptography. Everybody can already guess. I think you've seen. I think there's a version of this on iPhone where a lot of people would like would play it. But what I just simply did was I figured out antonyms, synonyms, and things. I sat down, I give each one a number, and then I created a bigger number right away up there. It was like I think I can't remember even what this was, but if you solve it, you can figure out what the top part is trying to say. It was either expression or an idiom. I can't remember. Yeah. Um yeah, so all you need to understand is that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Find games that you like, change them to your version, and play around and create. This is very important. Create a database for yourself where you learn how to recycle these things and mix them together to create new games. Okay? You don't need to be original all the time. Original will come later on. So, would you want your students to speak like you or better than you? If you want, you can answer. Uh-huh.
Can I? Mm,
Of
can
course,
I?
better than you. Yeah.
So of course, I'd like my students to speak better than me, as there is a very famous Russian proverb, uh, a good, I would say, a good general that is that one that was better than his teacher.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So, better everyone I can see, that's why we have all these great teachers. Everyone says better than me. We all want to see our students to be successful. That's correct. But it comes at a cost. And the cost is that it will drain you both physically and emotionally as a teacher. I understand how low really teachers get paid, how unappreciated we are, and how parents think that we are in charge of every single aspect of students' life, and we're supposed to fix them for all the mistakes they have done so far. Okay? But in reality, we have to really care. We have to actually care about each and every one of those students and individuals. And that sometimes means sleeping less, doing more, working a lot. And I would say that's just the beauty of it. That's something that I kind of like and I really care for. And I have good colleagues. I am very lucky to have good colleagues that actually have the same values as me because it makes my work a lot easier. Try to spread this idea around so that you would have people that care just like you. It feels a lot better. Trust me. I think that's about it. Sorry if it wasn't as informative as you wanted or if it wasn't as useful as you thought. But at this point, if you have any questions, if you have any difficulties or something, ask me. I'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you, Mr.
Aw.
Ali. That was awesome. Thank you for all your energy. Thanks for the effort and the knowledge, experience you shared with us today. Thank you. I'm sure I can see it as almost everyone stayed till the end. It says something. It tells something. That's why I want to thank everybody who joined as well. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your time. And before everyone leaves, could we please take a group photo?
Yes, let's take a group photo. How do we take a group
Yes.
photo? Should I stop
Uh,
sharing my screen?
yes. Thank you.
Ah, all right. Yeah, there we
You
go.
know it. Yeah, and I'm waiting for people to turn on their cameras
Camera. Okay.
so that we could take a few nice photos, which, as usual, I share in the WhatsApp chat and on Instagram. All right. So I'll take it a few times so that I choose the best one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3. And one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Thank you so much. Now the floor is yours. If anyone has a question, uh, anything to say, any feedback, you are free to unmute and share what you think.